guys, welcome back to another episode of In the Loop. Today's guest is an artist that has been on fire this past year, having released hit banger Pleasure or Pain with Kryder, as well as releases on Doorn Records, Intensity and Glow Records. Mark Roma, welcome back to In the Loop.
Hi mate, good to see you.
How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been seeing you've been, releasing quite a lot and doing all these different remixes. You've been, like I say, on fire this past year.
Yeah, tried. It's paying off finally.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's sort of been the thing that's been able to get you going and motivated to be able to produce as much as you have?
The end goal being playing all those festivals that you can think of: Tomorrowland, Ultra, Creamfields, the local one.
Mm-hmm.
I will not stop until I'm headlining, playing the main stage at all these festivals. So, got to just keep making the bangers up until then. It's just a case of non-stop, and at some point I'll get there. So that's it. It's the end goal motivation.
Do you think that, like, obviously more so in the past year, we've been able to go back to events, whether it be club nights or big raves or festivals? Has that been like a big inspiration for you?
Yeah, I mean, mainly because for me, the pandemic was actually like a blessing in disguise, because obviously can't go anywhere, so stayed in the house even more. Absolutely smashed the hours for producing. Got improved massively, and now that gigs are coming back, I'm actually able to hear all them tracks played live. So for example, like Hellfire just gone, Layback Luke played an unreleased ID, and it was good in a sense of, oh, this is good, it's being played live, but also like, hold on, I could adjust the kick a little bit on that. So I'm enjoying myself, but I'm still like, actually, that needs changing. Maybe this could be, maybe this one needs vocals or something like that. So like, it's like a producer out on the road. I can't just enjoy it. I'm still like thinking, what can I tweak and stuff on track. So, but hearing them live, yeah, it's massive motivation to just keep going even more.
Yeah, it's something that I don't really think about as just solely a DJ at the moment, because obviously, like yourself, you're a DJ and producer, and obviously you're hearing stuff in your studio as you're making it. You can hear it through your headphones and through your own speakers. But then I guess it's another level when you're hearing it on a stage with a big system, and you can see more clearly, what you've done right and what you've done wrong, I guess.
Yeah, and seeing the crowd reaction, which is ultimately the main thing. So, seeing the crowd go mad, you're still doing okay. I'm just glad he didn't drop the track and everyone fucking leave to go and get a drink instead. I kept them in the room.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, because like I noticed in past times when like I've seen interviews of DJs and you hear them speak, sometimes they create tracks that don't really garner them any success or get them anywhere, but it's like their babies, where it might be their favorite track or one of their favorite tracks they've ever produced. And I guess, do you think that sort of having that kind of relationship with a track where you're like, I care about this so much, is important, or is it ultimately just what the fans think?
It's got to be both, because as much as people like to sort of be purists and only make music for yourself and only make music for that you like, you've also got to think of like the business side. Like, will the track do well on radio? Will it do well in radio shows that DJs are playing? Will it do well in a club? Will it do well at a festival? Like you do have to sort of think about it. You can't just sort of put some stuff together and be like, this is what I'm going to make, and if people don't like it, then fair enough. Like if people don't like it, you're obviously not going to get very far. So it depends on what the end goal is. Like if you do want to be playing stages, like festivals and stuff, and getting on the radio, you do have to have a bit of a business mind as well. If you want to just make stuff that you like and just want to listen to over and over just for you as a hobby, then fair play if that's what you want to do. But it's all business. You've got to think of the business side at all points.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I think like you and me both can think of quite a few guys out there that have been releasing incredible tracks for over 10 years, but they're still guys that you maybe could say haven't hit it big, haven't ever toured the world. Some of like the classic EDM tracks that we think of, they've never quite hit it big, and sometimes you wonder, A, is their heart completely in it? And B, how are they looking at it? Are they looking at it from a business point of view and treating it that way? Because ultimately, the guys that you see at the top, it always seems to be that number one sort of priority is they look at it from a business point of view.
Yeah. And I think it can go too far that way, because the likes of Hardball, for example, he said he was just making tracks that would just fit his set. And they were working and he was touring the world and stuff. But like, he's now on his break because it just seems like he's bored and like fed up of what he was making. So I'd say a balance would be important. I don't think Hardwell was, making music that he hates, but only doing it because it fits the set, but like liking it, but also making it so that it fits the purpose at the same time. Both are important. Depends. It depends on the situation, like I said.
Yeah.
You can have it as a hobby, or if you want to go and actually be successful, you can't just be a purist. You have to have your business hat on. So
yeah. And obviously, people as they're growing as producers, they kind of come at it from different angles. Some people treat it as a hobby, some people treat it as a business. Some people see the way of getting to the top as just being, releasing tracks themselves, or getting onto a label, or just producing their own tracks, or doing bootlegs and remixes. Would you say there's one particular path to get to the top, or would you say it's a multitude of things?
It's definitely a combination of everything. There's certainly quick paths which involve how big your bank is. That always helps. But there are guys that have literally just created music so damn good that they can't help but be placed on all the lineups and stuff. So you've got it's a combination of loads of things. A little bit of money helps. The actual quality of the music helps. Social media is important. Being well connected is probably up there with the money thing. It's if I could give anyone advice at all, network and then do some more networking and go out your way to network, and then network on top of your networking. Like it really is a case of who you know.
Yeah.
It's sad, but there's the truth. It is what it is.
I couldn't agree more. It does speak true to the saying, it's who you know, not what you know. And that's not always a bad thing, because at the end of the day, if you are mixing in with the right people, if you are talking to the right people, and you're using your time wisely, then you deserve a payoff,
Yeah. I mean, if you are like making quality stuff, and it is a case of when you finally get introduced to that one person that can make a difference, then great. But like if it's, paying to get on lineups, or this person only got on a lineup because he knows such and such, and really, they don't, do their own stuff or produce their own stuff, or what they do. I don't know. Maybe edit this section out. Can you repeat the question again? Edit this question. I've waffled too much.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Again.
I mean, like something I always think about as well is like what seems to be the biggest difference maker for the guys at the top? Is it a case of they're constantly, releasing really good tracks, or is it maybe just tracks that work and they've got great branding behind it?
Yeah, combination of everything. There's no sort of one route to the main stage sort of thing. So, like I say, money helps. Networking is the most important thing, I would say. When you do finally meet the right person, it's also handy to actually have some like quality music ready. So you can meet the right person and get to where you want to be at some point, I guess. But like if you meet the right person and you've also built up your social media and you've also got a history of like really good tracks and you've also done this and that, when you do meet that person, you're going to blow the red off and be like, what? And, it might progress faster. So, yeah, the combination of everything is definitely the way.
I've definitely experienced it in the past myself. And I think, you have, where you do get to that point where you're like, okay, I need to be able to, show what I've got and be able to back myself up. And then you have to say to yourself in that situation, if you get there, what can I do? What can I show? Have I produced a track that's done fairly well? Have I played in some pretty big venues? Have I supported, this guy and whatnot? Because ultimately, all that stuff helps,
Yeah, it is, yeah, all of it. Don't focus on one thing, I would say. You have to have the whole package sort of thing, especially starting off.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder sometimes, like, there's obviously a broad spectrum of different types of artists out there, whether it be guys that are very much focused on producing and they happen to DJ as well. But usually, a lot of people in the music industry, they're creative people, they're artists. They're not, these kind of people that can sit down and put together a sort of strategy of, okay, I'm gonna put this picture out this week and this video out this day to kind of, look at what works best for your Instagram and how to market yourself. Do you think you can maybe get to the bigger stages, to the bigger, parts that we all want to play only, on your own?
Well, definitely not on your own, no, because like I said, networking is one of, if not the most important thing.
I mean, more so like maybe just yourself in terms of no manager, no support network other than.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
you can definitely do it yourself. It might be tougher, and you've got to learn essentially a new skill of getting yourself booked. Whereas a booking agent's sole purpose would be to just get you gigs. So they can spend all that time doing that. So if you had to do that yourself, you've just got to take time away from doing producing, doing social media, blah, 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 blah. You can do it yourself. There's plenty that have. It's just might take a bit longer, or it's a bit tougher, or a bit of both.
Yeah,
it's definitely doable. It's just tougher.
Yeah. I think like one thing I always take away from like seeing you, online and when I see you in person and whatnot as well, is like you are one of the hardest workers in the industry at our sort of level. And
I try.
It does blow me away sometimes. I'm like, because at the end of the day, we've all still got 9-to-5 jobs. A lot of us lads that are trying to, get up there and make it, and to be able to balance all of that, all the other shit that goes on in life, as well as trying to chase this dream of ours, it can be fucking difficult. Trying to keep motivated, doing the right things to actually get you somewhere. how do you keep motivated and find, you know, what works and what doesn't?
Well, I might actually be on the spectrum or something, but I have like major OCD. So like I have got a spreadsheet where I've blocked out every single hour of the week, and it's literally like, this might sound terrible, but like I've got, obviously I blocked off the hours for sleep, blocked off the hours for work, and blocked off hours for example, like if I'm seeing the girlfriend, it's like it's almost like you have an appointment 7 till 11 on Friday night, and that's when you'll see me. And there'll be no cancellations and you can't miss it. Otherwise, I'm doing music and, you know, I'll see it another day.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I've got a really, really structured routine, and like it just, once you've done it for so long, it just becomes habit, and you know, it's almost like your body just sort of gets used to it. So, you know, I might have a scheduled in 4 hours of music, and I'll sit there and do absolutely nothing, and I will get annoyed with myself, but at least I tried. I think there's a little bit too much sort of floaty information and advice when people go and say, you know, oh, you know, if you don't feel like doing it, you know, you can do that. You can always come back to it another time. You know, don't feel pressured into do anything. Take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health. But if you're actually serious, you have to crack on. So, you know, depends what your goal is. My goals are pretty fucking big. So I have to schedule in those hours, and I've stuck to it and put in thousands and thousands of hours into producing. So, yeah.
I think sometimes it comes down to the mentality of the person as well. Because I think,
Yeah.
you know, before any of us even get into music, you know, I think it's set out from the start whether we're actually built to go anywhere. Because I mean, fuck me, there's a million and one DJs around that want to play Tomorrowland and want to play, you know, the biggest clubs and the biggest stages. But there's very few of us that will get there. And the ones that will get there will be decided on, you know, how much commitment we have, how much we can accept, you know, being wrong. Say, for example, if a track comes back from a label and they say they don't like it, how many times you can fuck up and just keep carrying on.
I mean, my mindset is pretty damn strong. I actually can't think of anyone who's got similar or as high as mine. I can literally, in fact, not that I can, I do get rejected every 2 or 3 days by labels for a track, and it is what you've got to just see it as. It is what it is. You can't let that get you down. It's just, you can't well, not that you can't, you need to try avoid sort of like questioning yourself if you were to get rejected for by like a record label, for example, because it's usually not you. It's usually a case of, is this track sellable? The label will only think of it as like a business venture. It's not that the track is bad. It's just, will this get 1 million streams on Spotify? Yeah, then they'll, you know, they might sign it. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's a weird world we live in with music, because, you know, like sometimes like I don't know if maybe some artists come to a point where they're like, I mean, I suppose a lot have, where they're just thinking, I'm just not even making music for me anymore. I'm not making music that I like. I'm just making shit that will make, you know, it sound half decent on the radio for a couple of minutes between other popular tracks. And you almost get to a point where you don't even care about what you're making. It just gets bastardized. It's just like, and then at that point, it's like, is that more important? Or is, you know, doing what fulfills you, keep going at it and trying to put it in the right places, and hopefully that gets you somewhere.
yeah, like I said, you've got to find the balance of, it the music does have to work on the stages and the radio and stuff, but you've still got to at least enjoy it a bit. If it's too extreme to one side, it's probably not going to work too great.
Yeah, you have to find that healthy balance, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, like I say at the start of the interview as well, a hell of a lot has happened since the start of last year, since I last spoke to you.
Yeah, just the past 12 months, I still can't believe what's happened.
It's mad, man. You're fucking on fire, man. And yeah, obviously in that time you've been able to, play a few gigs and obviously have some huge releases as well. So since then, I think I've asked you this last time, but I imagine the answer's probably changed. What has been your favorite musical memory this far?
One of my favorites is definitely, if not the favorite, is finding out that after everything being locked down, the very first festival that Armin van Buuren came out and played in Andorra, I think it's literally called like the Andorra Mountain Festival.
The outdoor one, I know which one you're on about.
Yeah. The third track of his set was my Faithless remix.
No way.
The only way I found that out is because someone on YouTube just commented saying that Armin had played it. And I replied back saying, oh, that's great. Like, how do you know? Or something like that. And he said, I was there. I'll message you on Instagram. So this random guy who happened to be at the festival found my remix on YouTube, let me know that Armin played it, sent me footage of it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so good how like social media can work sometimes. Most of the time, I think it just does my head in. Yeah. But like the way he happened to just be there, he's clearly looked up the track, gone, oh, I've got some footage of the track, and then he sent over the footage. And then I think I found I started YouTubing searching on YouTube for footage of Armin playing the festival. And I managed to get a bit of a montage between the guy who sent me his footage and someone who was doing it. I think he had like a vlog thing on like a stick, so he's raving and fucking cameras going everywhere. But it was good enough for a social media post, and it just blew my mind that the very first set back, Armin played my track, and I can't remember what month it was, but he's still playing it now. Like, when did it come out? In June, about 7-8 months ago. And he played it again last week. So Armin fanboy over here. Yeah, basically that's my favorite.
Yeah, man. That must have been mental, that. And had there been a standout moment from the gigs you've played as well? How did it feel being able to play out those tracks yourself?
Yeah, that was good to actually finally play some of the music that I've actually been putting out like myself. It's great when like the big guys play my stuff, but actually being able to play it yourself is good. So when I supported Blaster Jacks in October, I finally played pretty much every track I've got unreleased and already released and stuff like that. It was just, you can't describe it, and that's what's pushing me, because that was only, I think it's about 400 or 500 people. When I'm doing that in front of maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people, I think I might just cry, to be honest. If you see me playing Tomorrowland stage and I'm just in absolute tears, don't judge me.
Mate, oh my God, I'll be exactly the same. I was fucking tearing up when I had my big gig. I was like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like,
yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like, we've spent so much time, of our lives listening to this stuff, and it means so much to us. And we've also spent so much time trying to build something as well.
Yeah.
And to get that payoff, no matter how small it may seem in the grand scheme of things, it does mean a hell of a lot. So obviously, like, one of the main things that me and you have bonded over and got on really well about is the future rave movement. And that seems to be what you've sort of styled yourself on, and what you're inspired by a lot. and what sort of caught you about the future rave movement?
Well, because I like a lot of subgenres, trance, techno, progressive, most genres in dance music. Future rave is like a sort of combination of them all. So it's just like the happy medium of like all my favorite stuff in one track. And I don't know, it just works perfectly, both in a club, on the radio. It's going to be in festival soon when festival season starts in March. The hope is I get some unreleased IDs played at Ultra Music Festival, which is
yes,
Hardwell's 2013 set on YouTube, is what I'd say got me like fully onto like all the big room and EDM and stuff like that. Because before then it was mostly just trance. And I didn't actually know what the hell to search on YouTube to find all the music that I liked. And Hardwell's Ultra set was like the sort of beginning thing that I can remember that's like introduced me to sort of like all the EDM stuff. So if I could get a track played there nearly 10 years later, that would be like another dream come true. So
yeah, that'd be insane. I mean, like what I think I got into it similar way to you, because I think it was either 2011 I was listening, no, 2010, 2011 I was listening to trance stuff online. And it's funny because I'm not even massively into trance anymore, but I liked the old stuff, the old trance. And then one day I just stumbled on Tiesto and Hardwell at Ultra and at Tomorrowland, and I think it was like 2011 or 2012 gigs, and that's how I fell in love with EDM. And sorry, I went off a bit of a tangent there. End up
but going back to the future rave thing, that's like it's just because it's such a good combination of like all the stuff that I like. It's just it's just the perfect genre. So that's what I started being inspired to make, and it seems to be going well because I'm getting a few number ones and stuff.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's interesting because like obviously through the years we've had sort of different subgenres come to the forefront. Big room, obviously psytrance as of late, bass has been blowing up, and you've had different sort of subgenres blowing up. And now,
it goes in like phases, doesn't it?
Yeah, but sort of now we're seeing a mix of subgenres becoming its own genre in future rave, like you was explaining to me when we was at Creamfields, and I didn't even really know too much, but it's a combination of sort of tech, trance, and big room, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's just perfect. So that's why I like it.
It's glorious on the main stage. Like when we seen Morton, I was like, wow, like that's the first time, other than Get to the night before, but it felt even more clear on the Sunday, seeing Morton, where like this is raw as it gets, future rave, and it's like But do you reckon from now on then, going forward in terms of trends in EDM, we're going to see, as opposed to big room coming back and blowing up, or trance becoming a thing at the forefront, we're going to see a combination of both in a new style again, like we've seen with future rave?
Future rave's definitely here to stay. I don't think it's a fad, because it started sort of 2019, and like you could maybe go back from sort of 2012 onwards and it'll be like the year of progressive, and then 1 year was bass house, 1 year is dubstep, 1 year is big room, like specifically. But like future rave started in 2019 and it's still going stronger than probably pretty much every other genre except tech house. So there might be some sort of like spin-offs of it. You might get like trance rave or techno or future techno or something like that. Something like that might be cool. Danny Avia is doing a main stage techno concepts. That's sort of like the more techno side of future rave. But that's like I don't know. It's like a movement being pushed by one DJ. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
I know
another DJ will do similar.
I have seen like something about that, but I don't actually know what exactly it is. I thought it was more just techno, but you're saying it's a bit of a almost a future rave take.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like future rave, but with like a techno kick rather than
Mhm.
like a clubby kick,
Mhm.
even. So, you know, it works. It's cool.
Mm.
I like techno and I like future rave, and he's blended the two. So,
Mm. It seems
not
like
sure. I don't know if like the likes of trance will ever have like this is like the main thing ever again,
mm,
or big room. I don't know. There might be.
mm,
I'd love to. I'd love to be able to just create a whole new genre myself, like the way Oliver Heldens did. He's
yeah.
basically started all the future house stuff.
Mm,
It's now like a proper genre on like Beatport and stuff like that. So
mm,
I think it is. I know bass house is. I'm not sure about future house,
yeah, yeah.
but there's another goal of mine: create a genre so big that it becomes an actual category on Beatport.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that because it seems like as well as artists, labels seem to be completely changing what they used to be because obviously you've now got the sort of future rave thing happening. But I've
Yeah,
noticed with labels like Revealed, they obviously used to be purely big room because of Hardwell and all the guys that he used to sign. Whereas like maybe the past year or so, it's gone a combination of like I'd say like big room bass house. I don't know if that's the right word. Like big
yeah.
that
It's
kind
like
of hybrid.
yeah, it's like what I said before. You know, you do need to. You can stay true to your roots, sort of thing, but at the same time, to actually stay relevant, you've got to think business wise. So they are releasing more genres. So
Mm,
there is a bit of deep house in there, a bit of bass house. There's a bit of hard style as well. So you know,
mm.
you've got to think business as well.
And is there sort of anything now that you're kind of feeling, I'd like to one day be able to make into my own subgenre, a combination of maybe a couple
Uh,
of genres.
I think I'm already doing it with future rave. To be honest, it
Hmm.
it it already is a combination of all the stuff that I love
Hmm.
because um, it's I still like trance on its own, and I still like techno on its own, and I still love big room, but I'm now able to sort of because what I always used to get told is, oh, that's too trancey, or this is too electro for this label, but now I can put like an electro slash big room drop with a big massive transy breakdown. And because it's now called Future Rave, all the
Hmm.
labels are like, oh my God, yes, this is what we want to sign. So it's worked out pretty well that it now exists.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And I'm almost certain because I don't think I did it until about episode 6 or 7. But you've probably seen from the interviews before. I usually like to end these with a couple of games, and
Sure.
since you're known as the kind of future rave guy, I want you to be able to explain as best you can to someone who knows nothing about producing music, doesn't really listen to EDM, as much as you
Okay.
can, what these subgenres are. So
Okay.
let's go with future rave first. What is future rave?
Okay. Right. So Future Rave is like the perfect combination of super bassy, super trancy, super electro with a bit of big room thrown in. It's just the sort of like pinnacle of dance music at the moment. So
Hmm.
um, it's like the best It's like the best elements of all genres all thrown into one.
Hmm. And just on the topic of future rave as well, um, obviously the main man of it at the moment is David Guetta,
Yeah.
and he's obviously had a real long career. But a lot of his success and why he is where he is because of all the sort of, you could say, radio friendly mainstream stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
Um, do you think that's something that a guy like yourself should aim to do as well, or do you think it's it's fine just to stick with sort of doing, what you feel's best for yourself?
Me personally, because of the goals that I have and where I want to be, and the sort of like frowned upon fame and success that I want, it's definitely something that I've basically told myself at some point in the future I definitely need to do a radio crossover track, because only sort of like the biggest guys like Armin, Jesto, Guetta, Garrix have done that. They've done the radio stuff a little bit and then gone straight back to like what they usually do. It's like basically they've walked in and gone, okay, all you new people are now my fans, and now I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. Maybe they'll like the sort of less radio friendly stuff. So putting your business hat on, yeah, if you want to be that sort of level of successful and famous, at some point you will have to do a radio crossover. So I'm not opposed to it. It's just the business side of things. You can just stay dedicated to just dance music, but you might not get as far as the one who's maybe, for example, Armin with This Is What It Feels Like. It's still quite a trancey track, but Radio 1 can play it. So it's a clever venture that people need to do.
Sometimes, you can find a balance, I guess.
Yeah, it's difficult. Radio stuff is probably the most difficult thing to do. So like people frown on it like, oh no, look at him being a sellout doing radio stuff. And I'm like, it's the hardest thing to do. It's like making your own stuff even more simple sort of thing. Like it's like simple is hard. It's not easy at all. So
don't forget, you're still going to make simple attractive to other people to listen to.
Exactly. So me personally, I will at some point have to do it. So
yeah, I get that, man. I get that. One more game that we're going to play quickly. We won't be too long with it, but what we're going to do is just go through subgenres, and I'm just going to say the subgenre, and I just want you to say the first word that comes to mind. Okay. So progressive house.
Unreal.
Okay. Deep house.
Boring.
What's that?
Boring. Not for me.
Big room.
Legendary.
Nice. Hardstyle.
Don't get it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Trance.
The best.
Okay. Psytrance.
Second best.
Bass house.
Funky. I guess.
Techno.
Pounding.
Okay. Dubstep.
Don't get it.
Yep, me too.
It's not like when people say like, oh, such and such a shit. It's like I've sort of made myself start saying I don't get it, or it's not for me, rather than saying it's shit, because it's clearly not shit. Because there's millions of fans of it.
Yeah,
I just don't understand the hype. But fair play if you do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's difficult sometimes when you walk, through a stage to get to another one at a festival, and you're like, what in the fuck is this? And it's hard not to go, this is a bag of shit, because it does sound awful to you and your mates as you're walking through, but it's clearly a crowd of fucking 8,000-10,000 people in this place going mad to it. So there's something to it. It's funnily enough, someone a few interviews ago, when I asked them, to describe dubstep in sort of one word, and I said 2 words. I said robots fucking.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it. I mean, I've gone way past one word, but yeah, I'm going to use that in future.
Class that is. I was like, okay, I hadn't thought of that before. It's pretty decent. Drum and bass.
Um, I don't know how to do one word. I think both good and bad.
I've said busy.
Busy, yeah, that's a good word. Hectic. There you go.
Yeah. That's it. Trap.
Noise.
Yep. Happy hardcore.
Guilty pleasure.
Okay. Tropical house.
Nope.
That's
my word.
yeah. Groove / funk. So, like the glitter box sort of thing.
Yeah, boring. Not for me.
Yeah, same here. Future bass.
I don't even know what that is. Future bass. Is it bass house?
Like the American stuff. Like I think like Excision comes under it, and like Millennium.
Oh, right.
It's big in America. It's not really a thing over here.
Yeah,
this is for our American viewers.
Something.
The two of them.
Yeah. Chaos.
Okay. Melbourne bounce.
Happy.
Okay. And then I've added this one because I've not really had it before. So you'll be the first guy to answer this. Future rave.
Heaven. Funny enough, one of the best future rave tracks ever. But yeah.
Sweet.
I think it goes like from second best to best, and then Heaven's like one step up, whatever that next one up. But
yeah, man, I couldn't agree more with you, mate. So that's that for that. What have you got coming up in the next 12 months that people can expect?
Well, literally as of yesterday, I finally signed some music to the Goal label that I've been working towards from the beginning. So it's about 6-7 years in the making. They finally said yes. So I can't reveal who it is at the moment, but it's happening. I've got a collaboration with Stadium X coming out at some point this year. Paul Oakenfold, the trance legend, has asked me to do an official remix. That's done, and it's just a case of him letting me know when that'll be out. So that might be this first half of the year, actually. Trying to think what else is happening. I'd say they're the three main big things. Maybe another collaboration with Kryder if I can send an idea that he likes. But yeah, maybe some people might see me at Greenfield. It might happen this year. Might be the year.
Yeah,
we never know.
Absolutely. Just out of interest, I know you might not be able to say too much as it might be early stages, but in regards to the Paul Oakenfold remix, how did that come about? Because obviously that seems quite left field.
Yeah, well, when I was sending out my promo emails for my Billie Eilish remix, he said that he loves it so much that can I do a remix basically in the exact same style? So obviously I jumped on that opportunity straight away. He was actually saying, what if I just sort of switched the vocals for Billie Eilish out for the vocals for his track? And I said, probably can't do that because it's already been played out on radio shows and stuff like that. So if anyone's a fan of the Billie Eilish remix, they'll be a fan of this Paul Oakenfold remix because it's, fairly similar, but it's the typical Mark Roma future rave sound. So
nice.
That's the big one.
That's wicked.
The privilege of being asked by a legend like that.
That's wicked. That is. He's a real sound guy. He is. I met him at a night at Ministry. I played earlier on in the night before him, Yeah, I think it was him and Judge Jules. And
Yeah.
considering like how you know how much of a legend he is, and you know he's massive. He's such a down to earth guy. You know, you
Yeah.
meet some people in the industry and you think, oh God, you know, some of the
Got
big
to the
guys
head
have
of
got a
it.
bit of an ego. He's
Yeah.
such a down to earth sound guy.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point he'll fly me out to LA to do some studio time with him, but
Yeah,
I think I'm being a bit too hopeful.
Get him on the Madonna remix with you next.
Yeah.
Get producing going for them.
Yeah, maybe.
Legend. Cheers for joining me today, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Nice
Hopefully
one. Thank you,
I'll have some more news on the next one.
Yeah, and you know, maybe we can sit here again in a year, 2 years time, and be talking about your upcoming Tomorrowland set.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. So yeah, at some point we definitely will.
Yeah, with your work ethic, mate, and what you've done so far, you'll fucking get there. Sooner or later, you'll get there.
I don't want to sound big-headed, but definitely, it's a case of when, not if.
Of course,
that's what I tell myself.
Absolutely, man. Cheers for joining me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good being back again. It's good to see you.
Yeah, take care, man.
You too.
So.